Greetings, everyone. Here's Lordrick, and this is a game War in the Pacific Admirals Edition, and this is my play by email match against KilRoy. He's the commander of the Allied Forces, and for me, it is the Empire of Japan. This is now the 27th April 1942 turn. Still aggressive striking from the Allied American fleet in the Central Pacific, taking more or less my islands there, Marcus Island, Saipan, Guam. Also trying to take Chichijima, but this failed. And here's one of the Japanese subs, source of Marcus Island. I think this is a sub going in or a cargo ship going in or out of Saipan. I can intercept it. One more kill. So my submarines are very successful in this campaign. I mean, I can think many civilian cargo ships, tankers, but also at least hurting, not really sinking, but I think 6 torpedo hits against enemy carriers and 4 or 5 against enemy battleships. It will at least limit the available asset KilRoy can use against me. So again, more bombardments against my forces in Auckland, and these forces are more or less cut off. I am not in defense mode and I cannot more attack, and I must wait for my new Japanese army is just landing in Gisborne to break the siege and then maybe strike back. Here is also American subs still at Suva, but luckily they don't really know how to work and hit something. And here is a British sub, I think, attacking my good fleet carrier. And shortly before we hear some mine hit, but it was American or Allied ships hitting a mine. And this was just my carrier fleet going back to Singapore. And luckily I can avoid here the 6 torpedoes. Sometimes you need luck. This is maybe the submarine just attacked me. This is my small Pacific carrier fleet division, and somehow we have here airstrike. A little out of nowhere, because I saw here some enemy cruiser formation, so I thought, okay, if there's enemy cruisers, then my 2 small, I mean, I have 1 fleet carrier and 1 support carrier, so I think a total 100 attack airplanes. That is normally not enough. But for enemy cruisers, it is enough. So I was thinking, okay, I go out, and then somehow I find here, I think, 1 American carrier at least. So we have here now enemy Wildcats against Zeros. And I can more or less defeat this enemy cap fighters, and here's a Lexington. Oh! And I can get immediately a bomb hit on the enemy radar. This will, of course, help me if there's a the early warning for the future will be much shorter. But here's also Enterprise, so he has 2 American Allied fleet carriers, not only 1. This can be an opportunity, it can be also dangerous. Luckily, this time my airstrike suffer not high casualties early on. And at least the Lexington gets many hits, and here's even a critical hit. Problem is, I think that my light carrier have no torpedo storage, so I have here mainly only bombs to throw on the carriers. But Lexington get, I think, already 3 or 4 bomb hits. And yeah, also some destroyers. Enterprise is Enterprise. If one ship is lucky, then it's Enterprise. But also here is now the radar destroyed. So now both carriers have no early detection mode. Not a super critical hit, but I think the Lexington is maybe out of action, at least temporary. If I create enough fire damage, then maybe the carrier cannot operate for 1 or 2 days. Good. And the outgoing is not more much. So I lose here some airplanes, but that is acceptable. And her 5 bomb hits with heavy fires on Lexington, I think will shut down the carrier for some time. Now the bombardment of Rangoon Airport. Again, I'm losing 1 aircraft, but I can create some damage. The question is there now a counter-strike? Because 2 American carriers, they have of course much more airplanes, and here they're coming. Luckily, I have a high numbers of fighters here. And this is also the first time that I have now this new seaplane 0 fighters to assist me. Normally they more or less replacing the Pete in the long run, with much more firepower. I mean, the firepower of the N roof and the normal 0 is the same. It's really the same airframe. It's only one is with is a land-based or carrier-based airplane, and the other one is with a swimmer unit, so can land on water or must land on water and take off on. Good. So I try, and you can also see that the enemy strike craft is strong, but the escort is not so powerful today. So maybe I can really get rid of them before they're really striking me. And it looks like they catch maybe half of them. So let's see how strong is this attack. And I also have here the Butsu and the Nagato. They're giving me some additional flak power, and they're also tanking all of this 1,000 pound bombs. I mean, if there's an attack, because this kind of bomb will not really penetrate the armor deck. But it's really only Shukako and this one small light deck carrier. And the American forces are a little more or less picking the wrong target. They're taking everything but not what is really important. They don't going for the carriers here. At least not all of them. I think they split up evenly. But this is maybe also heavily related to that my cap fighters was so strong in taking down half of the dive bombers, and maybe now there's some disorder, I don't know. Chicago get one hit. Okay. This ammo explosion. Ooh, that can end badly. You know, the outgoing strike. So, this Cap fighters was very successful. You can see that the Allies losing a lot of airplanes. Not so many fighters, but a lot of strike aircraft. Mutsu, the one bomb hit have nothing, no impact. And Shukaku get one bomb hit. Unluckily, this was with magazine explosion, so there's maybe not much torpedoes or sorties left for me to use now. And yeah, we will see. Still, this air battle was, I would say, better for me. Because at least the Allies lost one carrier. I think 5 bomb hits is a lot of damage, even for American carriers. Okay, now there's this leftover attack, and this will not really, I think, have a chance. Ah yeah, still 8 coming through. And they're making a hit. A torpedo hit. But it's a Mark, I think this is Mark 15 torpedoes. Oh no, Mark 13. They have, I think, a 50% dot chance. So much better than the Mark 14, but still more worse than everything else. So they're making a hit, but no explosion. Tja. This was only the morning? Oh, maybe. No, it's afternoon. And there was my torpedo bombers from my India Ocean group losing cohesion. So this is from Rabaul. Some of my Nell bombers going for Saipan again. But they all fail. Fail. Destroyers are really hard to hit. You need normally dive attack with this. So, outgoing, I make still an airstrike, and this time I have strong escort, so the Hurricanes, I think, have not really too much chance. Yeah. And there's one cargo ship. I'm not sure if where this come from or why it's here. But this is a convoy out of maybe, I don't know more. Maybe last turn my ships going in a cloud, and then there was no sighting of my carrier fleet, and then KilRoy thought, okay, I left already. Then he tried to move out fast. I don't know. Somehow in the last moment, my carrier fleet here in Indian Ocean find the enemy or not a troop transport, but a cargo convoy. And so now finally it was a successful operation at the end, because up to now I only found, I think, 2 ships, and I consume a lot of ships one time, and fuel and all of this. But with this strike, I think it is okay. Only cargo ships, nothing really special. But again, it will slow down all built-up forces here for Cylon. And now the second attack is running in a much stronger enemy cap. Yeah. Luckily, my Zero is fighting like good samurais and dying and to protect the torpedo bombers. And the torpedo bombers hitting the next bunch of ships. Okay, on the way out I suffer here high losses. So yeah, this attack cost me much more airplanes, that for sure. Still, it was not a disaster, and I take some ships with me. And for additional joy, one more cargo ship. But this is my other sub at Saipan, and I get here damage in shallow water. It's very dangerous always. Good, maybe today I can take seeing. Fort is down, but base will not fall. Again, higher casualties for the allies. The Chinese are dying, but not completely today. I think I take all my supplies and try to take the base. But I can blow up the next fort level. But for some reason the New Zealand forces are still holding. They're dying. And they're losing much more compared to me because I have nearly 1000. They have only 150. But it's still not enough to overcome them. And now I have no supplies anymore left. And the second try to kick them out. But the latest attack is a failure. I'm not more sure if I really use here all of my forces. Or this was only a test attack, I think. I'm not more sure what I did here. These are my tanks. They're pushing these Australian forces for the source. But the Australian forces don't give up. They're still running somehow. More bombardment in Rangoon. Nothing really happens, but I burn here enemy supplies, but of course also my own. And yeah, this was more or less attack on my side, but I don't know more why. I think I saw only one unit or two units here, but I think in the last moment KilRoy moved in some units. I don't know exactly what happened. But it doesn't matter if I attack you or not attack here, because the allies also attack now at the same turn. So my units are anyway dead and now broken and destroyed. So this Navy Guard unit is not more existent. This is his counter attack, so there's still 120 attack value left in Auckland. And today, second attack on this highway. But my force is holding the line again. And my first division is already on the way to reinforce them. So a very active turn. Many ships blow up, many air battles. Also the land battle was with events not all so good for me, but Overall, I would say it's acceptable. So, yeah, the overview, the kill ratio is still in my favor. You can see roughly 100 airplanes lost for the Allies against 40 for the Japanese. I lost a bunch of zeros, most of them air to air. So that is good, because I would say it is this was escort or cap. It's okay. I lost only 13 of my torpedo bombers. I think most of them in India Ocean. That is and the rest is all small stuff. This is okay. And the Allies, they lost a lot of Dauntlesses, dive bombers. You can see all killed air to air by Zero fighters. I think mostly with Zero fighters, and also Wildcats. At least some. So the Allies also losing maybe around 15 fighters. This is very similar to my. Nah, okay, I lost more, but there was also some Hurricanes. If you add up the Hurricanes, I think the kill ratio is roughly 1-to-1. But KilRoy lost much more Dauntlesses than I lost compared to this torpedo bombers. At the end, ship sunk. Last turn, a bunch of cargo ships, maybe all British here, all in this India Ocean, and some torpedo attacks by submarines. This is all source of Marcos Island. So no carrier really lost, and this looks also the kill or the how the airplanes died is not killed by, or it's not sunk carrier. This is really air to air or something like this. So in China, I try singing, still failed, but I think it's really a question of time only. Here, this will not change. I think this is still, the terrain is really impossible for me to overcome with this kind of forces. And my main focus is normally here in the source now, so I don't have really forces to help here much. Rangoon is no change. I try to walk with my tanks here up, but it needs time. It's a very small road only. India Ocean, because I think yesterday I forgot to check it. So I really don't know why this task force come out. Maybe I was in the cloud and no KilRoy don't saw me. I don't know. They come out and I lost here a bunch of airplanes, of course. No, not this one. Must be another air wing. Soyo. No. Junior? No. Akagi. Yeah, I think Akagi lost. Yeah, you can see Akagi lost 6 pilot missing in action plus 2 killed in action. So 8 pilots lost. This air wing had maybe 29 or 30 airframes in before I departure out of Singapore, and now you can see only 18 left. So this air wing lost a lot of pilots, but they also sunk a lot of ships, so I would say this is acceptable. Good. Anything else here? No. This ships I call back, I think my battleships, my cruisers. Yesterday I was able to hit these 2 ships here out in nowhere, but I don't have a detection more. This is a really big India Ocean. There's nothing. Very hard to detect any enemy. Here in New Zealand is my Navy Guard units, my block force more or less gets destroyed. So now the supply lines are open. You can see that here everywhere New Zealand forces, they pushing me at the coastline. My forces in Auckland are very low on supplies. I don't know if I have enough to attack again. Luckily, I have here firepower a lot. I have here 2 fresh divisions, and the third one is already on the march northwest and will normally arrive maybe latest next turn. So if I'm lucky, I can arrive here before KilRoy can attack me again. And once my division is here in position, I think it's impossible for him to overcome me. Then I have just 2 other divisions to maybe drive south to attack Wellington and keep him busy here, or I go and help my forces in Auckland. But again, I normally also need supplies. And here are still British battleships. You can see here are still 4 battleships. So it's very risky to operate here anything nearby for too long. My airbase is still under construction. I bring in the base force and engineers, and I build here up as quickly as possible the airbase. I need here an airbase of 3 to 1 torpedoes, torpedo bombers. Then I can only cover up to Auckland. And Auckland is really dangerous. So I cannot help normally Gisborne. I only can make it more safe, but never really safe. I mean, it's wartime, so it will never be safe. My torpedo bombers out of Truk don't find the target or cannot hit it. Here only enemy destroyers. Here's enemy, maybe cargo ships. And our carriers, they meet each other here. Somewhere a little surprising, I not expected it today. But here are 2 enemy fleet carriers. But at least I think one of the fleet carriers now out of action. Not sinking, but not more ready for operations. So, and Shukaku gets this 1000 pound bombs, and there was an explosion. But somehow I not really see any big impact. Maybe it was a misunderstanding and it was not a magazine explosion. Maybe it was a fuel explosion. It can be, because I'm a little low on fuel. I'm only at 60% fuel, and the others are at 80% fuel. I know, but it cannot be that. I don't know. Somehow, at least I can say Shukaku get normally no damage. I would say everything is fine. I'm ready for future operations. I'm only a little tired, or my pilots are a little tired. But I have here still torpedo bombers are ready. This fighter wing lost 4 pilots and I think 6 airframes. Okay. This was on escort duty. Yeah, this was the escort guys. And I think this was the cap fighter guys. Yeah, you can see they all get more points. Ding 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 ding. Tja. How many? 0? I don't know. I must check. I get any aces today? I think so. Kill 2, 3, 4, 2, 5, 3, 5, 6, and more. You can see here so many kills. Kill, 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 kill. If you want, you can watch it. Many kills. More kills here down. And top pilots. So I have 1 pilot with 13 kills already. 270 missions. 86 experience. But still not the most experienced pilot. The number 1 is still Ito. 10 kills in only 77 missions. But he is he's resting here in Palau Islands. I have here this 2 air wings in more or less in strategic reserve mode. I'm not sure where I really want to bring them. I can bring them easily to Ishijima or to Truk, because I was not sure where the enemy carriers are showing up. These 2 air wings are land-based air wings. This one is also carrier capable, but I want to have them in backup, because so far I was not sure where's enemy carriers, because my submarines are damaging 2 of them, But looks like 2 are back to Pearl Harbor and 2 are still here. But now one of these 2 is maybe heavily damaged by bomb hits. At least I hope so. Yeah, we will see. We will see. Thank you all. See you next time. Take care. Bye bye.